Okay, so welcome everyone to Math 120. I am your instructor. My name is Adam Kepke. Um, I am a lecturer with the Math Learning Center. So I've been with the university for a really long time. This is my 8th year teaching math at the university. Um, I've been teaching, I taught as a grad student. Just a little about me. I got my bachelor's degree in math from UNLV, and then I started teaching as a grad student, and I got a master's degree in mathematics with an emphasis in education, uh, probably about 5 years ago now, 5, 6 years ago. And then I got hired on full time to teach for the university. And I'm also a third year PhD student. So I took a few years off, had a family, and now I'm going back get my PhD so I can be full professor with tenure. Um, so that's a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Vegas. Go Knights. Yeah, like I said, I did most of my schooling at UNLV. I did a few years in Arizona too, though, during my undergrad. So I love math. Even when I was a little kid, it was something that I loved to do. My family pushed me into mathematics really hardcore, and then I hated it, obviously, just like anything that you get pushed into too hard. And so when I graduated high school, I had no idea that I was going to be a math guy. I thought I was going to go maybe architecture school or engineering. And I bounced around in undergrad and did a bunch of classes and then realized that math was something that I enjoyed, that it came easy. And so I started taking a bunch of math classes. And in that process, I started tutoring. And that's when I realized that I was good at articulating mathematical concepts to people, and it was rewarding to me. I enjoyed it. I didn't really care. People told me, "Oh, you're not going to get a lot of money," and blah blah blah. That was not necessarily important to me. So I started doing it. Started tutoring, started teaching, and yeah, make a career out of it now. So it's something I love. You're in good hands. If you got a teacher that loves what they're doing, chances are you're not going to be left to fail. If you ever feel like in this class you're like you know stressed out too much, feel like you don't have the right resources, make sure that you're reaching out to me because my number one goal is to make sure that you guys get out of this class and learn what you need to learn, not only for the math that you're going to need in your major, but also for math in real life. Um, I helped build this class about 4.5 years ago. We redesigned this class, myself and the undergraduate coordinator at the math department. Um, Math 120 was just not serving the purpose that we wanted it to serve. Students were not getting what they wanted out of it. They're getting poor reviews for the instructors, and just in general, they were not pleased. The advisors weren't pleased because the kids weren't learning anything. So the advisors were not putting them in 120. And so it was just a throwaway course. And so we redesigned it. We went and spoke with all the colleges that you guys are coming out of, talked to advisors, talked to deans, find out what you guys need in terms of your content, rebuilt the class, also looked at things that you would want to use, you would need in real life, right? Most of your mathematical applications in your degree aren't going to be really rigorous. You may have some stats and behavioral science and things like that, but your experiences mathematically after this are going to be a lot of real life stuff. And so more than anything, I want to make sure that you're prepared for things like, you know, buying a house or looking at, evaluating risk and things like that. Modeling data when people throw data at you, which now we're in a really data driven world. Things like logical fallacies when you see and read stuff in the news and in the media and people are trying to twist the truth or push an agenda. How do you recognize that stuff? So all of that put together is really what built this course. So luckily I had my hands in the jar really, really early in the development of this. And it's a lot more rewarding sometimes when we do it face to face because it was designed kind of as a project based course where you get a lot of interactive stuff going on in addition to the lectures. And we lose some of that obviously going remote. So I'm working on a way to kind of group you guys together and be able to discuss some of these concepts. But like I said, I mean, I'm not the guy who knows everything about Web Campus. So bear with me for the first week or two. I, like some of your other instructors, are kind of trying to figure out exactly how we want to make this work, not only for what our vision of the class is, but also for you guys, so that it's something that's accessible and it's not super frustrating just to get your work done. Okay. So anyways, that's a quick background. I'm going to share with you today the syllabus. We're going to walk through just the important stuff in it. I'll have you guys read it on your own thereafter. I'm not going to go through it word by word, but just the important stuff we'll talk about. I also wrote up and just uploaded a calendar, just kind of a breakdown day to day of what we should be covering. And then I'll answer any questions that you guys have after that, and I'll let you go. Okay? So are we good to go? Yes? Cool. I think there's a thumbs up thing on here. Is there a way to like thumbs up on this? I don't know how to do it. Forget it. Reactions maybe? And reactions on the bottom. You can thumbs up. I see that. Okay, now I know. All right, so here we go. Let me share my screen. We'll talk about this syllabus real quick. All right. Let's go all the way to dashboard. So I logged into Web Campus, and obviously your dashboard comes up when you're in Web Campus. And hold on. Oh, they're just telling me I need to go into response. Okay, so sorry. So this is what your dashboard looks like. It has all of your cards in it. Here we are right here. You guys are arches right now, but I'm going to change that because you were supposed to be something different. Somebody else is arches. So you'll have a different one, but some cool park in Utah probably. And you come into your course, and this is what you see right now. Your homepage is our modules, and the modules is where you're going to go. Your modules is where you're going to go to pretty much go day by day through what we're doing in the course. So our theme 0, each chunk of material that we're going to cover in this course has a theme. There are 3 total, not including this one. Our theme 0 is what we're going to cover just this week. So this stuff right here is what I want you guys to do this week. We're not going to do any Math 120 content yet until Tuesday of next week, when you'll start to see videos uploading so that you guys can access those. So this week, I just want you guys to go through this important stuff in here. Make sure you go through all this stuff. The syllabus and the schedule, which we're going to go through right now. Okay, so here's our syllabus. Again, I recommend that you read this all on your own at some point, particularly if you have questions after this. We meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11:30 to 12:45. Most likely, material for this course will be uploaded around 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll try to get it up even earlier than that, maybe even the night before, once I get a little bit ahead in a couple of weeks. But just know that you can always log in at the class time, and whatever it says that it's going to be on the schedule, your video should be available for you to watch. My name is Adam Kepke. My office is here. I don't know how many times I'm going to go to my office this semester, honestly. And my phone number for my office is there. You can leave a message there. I may check it a couple of times in the year. So the best way to get in touch with me actually is through my email. Just email me. It comes to my phone. I check it all the time. If you don't hear back from me, if it's on a class day and you don't hear back from me in a few hours, you can email me again. But for the most part, I'm really quick, particularly on class days. If it's not on a class day, like on a regular other day of the week, give me 24 hours and I'm usually right back to you guys. My office hours are Monday mornings before this class and also on Fridays by appointment. If neither Monday or Friday works for you, send me an email. I'm sure we can find a time during the week that will work for us both as well. The department number is there in case you want to call them and tell them how great or terrible of a job I'm doing. And the course description is here. So these are the things I was talking about before that we're going to talk about in this class: real numbers, consumer math, functions, things like that, probability and stats, sets and logic. It says it's broad in scope course, but in the process of redesigning 120, what we did was we trimmed out a bunch of the fat. So I felt like they were covering way too many sections. So we trimmed out a lot of it to make it so that the stuff that we're covering, we can cover like in a lot more detail. But it is true, it is broad in scope. We cover like a lot of stuff that may or may not be connected to one another. Prerequisites for this course are here. If you feel like you do not meet these prerequisites for one reason or another, reach out to me and I can move you around. I also coordinate the Math 95 class, which is the class that comes before this. So those of you who came from Math 95, welcome. I'm glad you went through that process. I helped design Math 95 with the intention that it would prepare you better for 120. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to see in 120 is probably going to look a little familiar. You'll see a new spin on things, but it shouldn't be anything that's like totally out of left field. Course materials are here. It says required. I can't change this because the department told me that that it needs to be required, but it's technically not. The e-text is what the required component is. So you do not need the physical book at all. There will never be a time where I say you have to refer to this physical book or else. What you do need is a online account to Pearson MyLab and Mastering. So what this is actually, I got to share screen right now. So over here on the left-hand side of your web campus, toolbar, I guess you can call it, there's one of these buttons that's MyLab and Mastering. Later on, I'm going to show you how to navigate through that, but this is how you're going to access this course, the online homework for this course at any time. In addition to accessing the online homework through this button, you can also access the e-textbook through this button as well. So this is where you're going to get all the textbook stuff and where you're going to do all your online homework here in this MyLab and Mastering button over here on the left. In the past, you may have taken, particularly if you took 95 or 120 with another instructor, you may not have had this linked before right here. You may have gone like to the Pearson website separately, but for this semester, they will be linked together right here, okay? And then the other thing that you're gonna need to get is a calculator. Sorry, my share screen is being weird. The next thing you'll need to get is a calculator, and I recommend getting the TI-30X-IIS calculator. It's non-graphing, so I don't have it in front of me right now, I usually do. It's a non-graphing calculator. You can get them either in the bookstore or Walmart or Target, Office Max. I would spend no more than $15 to $20 on it. Usually they range between about 15 and 20 bucks, and they come in all sorts of different colors. The other one that you can use is this Casio. It's also a non-graphing calculator. The department does not want you to use a graphing calculator because of programming purposes, but we do want you to use a calculator in general that's not your phone. There'll be stuff that you're going to have to do on here that your phone is not going to necessarily be able to do, but at the same time, I don't want you to not have anything. So make sure you get that calculator as soon as you can. Let's see. Don't worry about this special note. This is only for face-to-face meetings. Somebody comes in and talks to us about tutoring and all these things. I will give you all the resources for tutoring remotely. Down here is the meat and potatoes of our syllabus. It gives us the evaluation breakdown. In this class, we're going to have mini projects. These mini projects come at the end of each chapter. And what they do is they're designed to be kind of group work that you do in practicing problems that you could see maybe on an exam, or problems that are at the end of the chapter that test your knowledge of what you learned. Like I said, I'm still kind of finding the best way for you guys to turn those in, but you'll get an announcement from me later this week that shares likely how you'll be uploading those mini projects to me. Just haven't decided what's the best way to do it yet. The other part of your grade, this 3% and 7% combined, comes from the online homework part, that MyLab and Mastering. The online portion of the course, in terms of what you have to submit, is broken up into two parts: reading checks and homeworks. So the reading checks are what you're supposed to do before the start of each class. So let's say we're going to cover the first section in chapter 1 on Tuesday next week. Then before Tuesday of next week, I would want you to go in and do the reading check. Skim through the material first on the e-text, and then answer the reading check, which is just 2 questions, multiple choice. Pretty much, do you know what this section is going to be talking about, basically. And then after you've done the reading check, then you'll go onto Canvas, you'll watch a video of me giving the lecture, and then at the end of the week, you'll do the homework, which is actually working on practice problems. So that's kind of how it's broken down. You'll go online ahead of time, you'll just kind of skim through the material, you'll answer some questions about what's coming, then you'll watch a video of me breaking it down, and then you'll go online and you'll answer some questions in the online homework, okay? Then there'll be 3 tests. So the material is broken up into 3 themes, or 3 units, if you will. And so there'll be one test at the conclusion of each one of those themes. Each one of those themes also has a project attached to it, which I'll start sharing those projects next week. They're usually really involved. They're projects that you're going to write up like you would write up a college level paper. And they're worth just as much as the exam. Notice that. And the idea of that is to take some of the pressure off of the test taking scenario. Okay. A lot of you may just be really reserved about taking math tests or just be anxious about math in general. And I don't want that to be the reason why you're not successful in this class. So that's why these projects are here. The projects give you an opportunity to write up a paper about what we're learning in a cool applied setting and show me that you know what you're talking about in a place that's not just solve this problem. Okay. And those grades give you an opportunity to balance those out. So I really like those projects. They're fun. One of them, like, I'll give you an example. I'm going to give you a bunch of scenarios, like how much money you make, and you're going to buy a house. And you can go online, you're going to finance a house, learn all about purchasing the loan and everything that comes with it. And you're going to write up a cool project about your new house. So they're applicable. They're real life stuff that you're going to use that information later on. Okay. Just know that. And then, of course, we have a final exam at the end of the semester. The final exam is basically going to be a combination of those 3 tests. I'm going to pull the information that I really like out of those. I'm going to say study those 3 exams during study week, and your final exam is just going to be a combination of those 3 tests. Letter grades are here. They're all written out. And then the learning outcomes are here as well. There were, normally when I teach this course, we break it down into 4 themes, but I've used those 4, I've combined 2 of those 4, and I've gotten rid of mathematics and the arts and politics. So I've kind of thrown some of that information into the other section. So don't worry about mathematics and the arts and politics. The other overarching themes are the ones that we're gonna cover. Let's see, attendance. When we're on campus, it's mandatory. Since we are face-to-face, since we are not face-to-face, obviously attendance is not something that I'm going to be taking. Make sure that you are logging into Canvas regularly. I will say that. I have a little button that says people over here that you guys can't see. I go on here and I click it once in a while and I check in on you guys to see how often you're on Canvas, how often you're in my class, what are you clicking on when you're in my class. Like, it gives me all that information. So make sure that you're not like being a procrastinator and waiting until like 2 days before the exam to like jump on and try to do a bunch of work. Number 1, I'll notice it. And number 2, it'll be evident in the work that you give me. Okay. Let me stop for a second and check this chat real quick. So answering these questions real quick. Number 1, the access code has a range of prices. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I think the cheapest one is like $115. That gives you access to the homework. It gives you an e-textbook, and it gives you access to the course for 15 weeks, so all the way through December. There's another option on the bookstore website that's like $135 or something like that. That's the same thing, but it gives you access online for 2 years in case you wanted to go back and look at it. And then the one that's like $175, that actually gives you the physical book in addition to the access code. And again, you don't need the physical book, so I don't recommend purchasing the $175 one. If you forgot your username for MyMathLab, there's a place where you can click forgot password and it'll get you to log in from there. All you need is your email address. Of the 2 calculators, the one I recommend is the TI, the Texas Instruments. Both of them are really good, but on my recorded lectures, I will be using the TI. So I think it's better to get that one so you can kind of follow along with like the input and the calculator. Yes, you will have access to the exams to study for the final. So I will give you probably like a physical paper one in a new module during study week that's like a physical one that you guys can practice. Almost like a practice exam 1, practice exam 2, practice exam 3 during study week. And it's like, if you can do these 3 tests, you know how to do everything on the final. Okay? I'm not a huge fan of the TI Inspire, but I'm not going to say that you can't use it. Okay. This semester, your test, I'm going to talk about the test here in a minute. You're going to take your test on Canvas and you're going to use this browser, this lockdown browser, so that you can't like jump around to other sites and it like hijacks your webcam. So I know like your cousin who's really good at math isn't like sitting there telling you all the answers. Okay. This week during theme 0, all you're going to do is get used to that kind of stuff. Like get used to using take a test with the browser. I mean, I have a test. It's like one question. Doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. It's just take this so you can get used to just navigating through and like getting used to how a test would be. Okay, so you'll have an opportunity to practice that before some high stakes assessment. Cool. On we go. We talked about calculator, homework. You can purchase an access code by clicking on this link right here. I actually think that the best way to do it is not to click on this link, but just to go and click on My Lab and Mastering in Canvas. So the cool thing is I can't see you all right now, so you could probably be on Canvas and doing this while I'm talking you through it. But you can click on My Lab and Mastering, and it's going to ask you if you've already had an account. If so, you can log in, or you can get your username and password retrieved to you. If you've never used Pearson, My Lab, and Mastering, that you follow the prompts on the right-hand side to create an account. After you've created an account, it'll ask you if you have an access code. If you have an access code already, because you bought one at the bookstore or you purchased it online, you'll enter that access code there. If you haven't bought an access code, it'll redirect you to the website so that you can buy an access code right there. If you don't have the funds to get an access code, at the very bottom of that page, there will be a link that'll allow you to get access to the course for 14 days. And then you can go in and purchase the access code and actually get access to the course. Now, be careful with the 14-day policy. Don't try to run through and do every single homework assignment, because at the end of the 14 days, it deletes your account until you've purchased it. So I can't see your grades. Okay, so make sure that if you do use the temp access, that you actually go and purchase and fully enroll in the course within that period of time. Makeup policy, you reach out to me if you have any reason why you need to make something up. There are written work that gives you a long period of time to make up. We have a no makeup policy on, unless of course there's certain emergencies. Really the big emergencies that arise are medical, of course, with documentation, religious, what else? Military, and UNLV extracurricular activities. All of those come with provided documentation. So you send me that stuff and I'll take care of whatever it needs to be. I also am a little lenient, so I don't offer any extra credit in this class. But because I don't offer any extra credit, and I know that things are unpredictable and you could have 1 week of virtual learning where you just get slammed with a million different things, I have some leniency here in the syllabus. I'll let you guys read through some of that on your own, but I dropped some of the lowest of your online homeworks and your mini projects. But don't take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, this is the week where I don't have to do one, because you never know what the semester is going to look like. And if you drop your lowest 2 in like the first 3 weeks of class, now you have like no leeway whatsoever for the rest of the semester. So I'll let you read through those and answer any questions that you have about those later. Sorry, the assessment stuff has come from the math department and I can't change some of the stuff that's on here, but obviously this is for face-to-face classes. For assessments in this class, we'll do them remotely. I will send you more information about how that's going to go as we get closer to the test. But I will say that there's a practice quiz online available now that I want you to do between now and Sunday, and make sure that whatever device you're using, you're okay with using a lockdown browser on, that it has a webcam that's accessible, that you can take pictures of your work and upload your work to me as well. All of that stuff is really important, and I don't want to wait until it really counts to figure out whether you can or can't do that. So this first week, make sure that you're going through that theme 1 module and answering all that stuff. Tutoring is available. I don't know if the department is going to have face-to-face tutoring this semester or not, maybe like with some social distancing and masks. I have no idea. But I will tell you this, it's not written on here. Why not? I don't know, because the math department's syllabus isn't as thorough as mine. But I will say this, Academic Success Center, I'll put this on a different note as well, has virtual tutoring available all semester long. So I will send you an email so you guys can check it out. You go onto the ASC's website and you can follow the links to get virtual tutoring if you're like super freaked out about math. We also had online tutoring a while for BrainFuse, but I think our contract with BrainFuse ran out. So that's why we need to go through ASC. So I will change and email you guys some more updated stuff for tutoring, because I think that's super important. The university policies are below. Academic integrity, obviously, don't cheat. You're just cheating yourself at this level, because really, if you wanted to and you were that motivated, you could probably find a way to cheat all the way through college and get a piece of paper that says you know what you're talking about, and then go out in the real world and get a job in that field, and then show everyone that you have no idea what you're talking about because you didn't learn anything in school. And then 3 months after you graduate, you're not able to get a job in your field because everyone knows you're a fraud. So at this point, frankly, when you cheat, you're just cheating yourself. In all of your classes, whether it's one of your core classes or specific to your major, immerse yourself in the material, because later on in life, someone is going to want to know whether you know what you're talking about, and you want to show them that you went to college and learned something. So just that's my spiel. Sorry. Face coverings, obviously, for face-to-face stuff. Academic misconduct, again, don't cheat. In our videos and chats, just be respectful of one another. If you have a documented disability, you contact the UNLV Disability Resource Center. They'll have you fill out some paperwork, and they will contact me letting me know what accommodations you need. If you have gotten accommodations already and they have contacted me, you'll hear from me by the end of the week, just checking in with you, making sure that everything is cool and we're on the same page. Final exam is going to be given during the week of final exam week. I'm going to show you the schedule here in just a minute. I don't know if ours is going to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I'll likely give you a good window for you to be working on it, though. Let's see. Incomplete. If you, a grade of incomplete is going to be given if you've completed like 75 to 85% of the work, and then something tragic happens during the end of the semester that doesn't allow you to complete the course. We don't want to give you an F for that. So you get an I, and then you come back and you finish the work. That's extremely rare. I'll tell you that right now. Missed classwork. I will say, religious holiday policy. Please let me know within the 14 first calendar days of the course if there's any reason why you would be missing for religious reason. And that's pretty much it. Oh, here's the tutoring and coaching. Cool. So down here is where the Academic Success Center's information is for tutoring and coaching. Please go through them, reach out to them if you have questions on tutoring. I know they have a virtual thing going on this semester. Also, the Writing Center should be having a virtual thing going on this semester. You can reach out to them either by calling them or on their website. Obviously, you don't consider Writing Center very much with the math class, but we do have 3 projects that you will type up and turn into me in a college format. And so there is a writing component to the course. Also, your exams will likely have a small writing component as well. That's pretty much it. Be respectful. The end. Let me jump back over. Let me stop share for a sec. So the practice test is under theme 0. I'm going to show you guys all that and share screen here in just a minute. I'll show you. Oh, see, I had somebody in the waiting room. Sorry, Justin, I didn't realize you were in my waiting room. I hope you weren't in there long. I'm recording all this though, so you'll be able to go back and watch it. So theme 0 practice test. Yeah, I'll show you guys that in just a second. I'm going to share screen, show you guys the schedule. Before I do that though, are there any other questions that I went over in the syllabus? I'm gonna wait for a second while my dog quits freaking out at the door. Okay, so no other questions. Let me quickly show you the class schedule. All right, so I posted this on Canvas just a few minutes before class started, and I'll go over with you right now. And then, of course, it very seldomly changes, but it is subject to change. If anything changed in here, I would let you know right away. I doubt I would ever move anything up earlier, but there is a chance that I could move it back. Sorry, I gotta share my screen here. Okay. So here's the schedule. Again, it's also available in Canvas or Web Campus in that theme 0, just below the syllabus. We meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You have homework due in this class on Sundays. Okay, all of your online homework is due on Sunday at 11:59. I figured it makes sense to have your mini projects due on Sunday as well. So my plan is to have your mini projects due at 11:59 on Sunday also. So over here on the left, this shows us what we're going to be covering every class day. this week, again, intro and syllabus today, the theme 0 stuff in Canvas or Web Campus on Thursday. And then we don't have any mini project this week. For the homework online this week, you have the reading checks for chapter 1. So I want you to skim through these 3 sections in the book. And again, it's just, do you know what we're going to be talking about? It's not really in depth. They're not going to be asking you problems from the book or any of that stuff. It's just kind of an overview, reading comprehension, if you will. So that is the first homework assignment that you have online in my math lab, and that is this Sunday. Okay, so definitely take a look at that. So this schedule pretty much runs down what we're going to be doing for each one of these sections. Notice that chapter 1, right, and chapter 2, all that, they're not really, really long. Like none of them have more than about 3 sections. Chapter 4 is kind of long. It has 4 sections. That's the longest one that we have. And I break chapter 4 up into 2 different mini projects because it's so long. And so let's see what else. So like starting next week on Tuesday, we're going to cover logical fallacies section 1A. So on Tuesday at 11:30, you'll be able to go into Canvas and you'll have a video there that'll show you everything that you need to know for logical fallacies. So I currently have PDF handouts of all of the lecture notes for this class, but I'm in the process of turning those lecture notes into PowerPoints because a handout is kind of boring in a virtual class, and a PowerPoint with me talking in the background is much more intellectually stimulating. So I'm hoping for most, if not all sections, there'll be a PowerPoint and like a video of me talking and working through some problems at the same time. At the very least, there will be a video for each one of these sections with me explaining the important material, going through some practice problems, okay? Because I'm recording these early, if you have questions, you can always reach out to me, you know, during class time or making an appointment with me for a Friday or whatever, so that we can go over any of this stuff. We will meet virtually for all exam reviews, okay? So it seems like a while away, but I won't have all of you in the same room at the same time again until September 22nd. And at that time, I'll tell you all the important information about the exam, go through some practice problems for the exam, all that stuff. We will always meet virtually for those exams. Review for exam 1, review for exam 2, the Thursday before Thanksgiving, review for exam 3. Your exam 3 is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We have no school on Thanksgiving. And then when you come back, that's study week. Study week, the 1st and the 3rd, I will have those be live sessions as well, since we're reviewing for the final exam. I don't know what day yet we're going to have the final exam, whether it's going to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday, but obviously I'll send you guys a message. Who knows? If I can, I'll make a 48-hour window that's just opens on Tuesday and ends on Thursday if I can. But I got to get approval from the department on that. It's up to them as far as how they want those exams to go. But your exam 1 and exam 2 and exam 3 will be given online. You'll take them through Canvas. And so when you go, let's see, modules, you'll take them in Canvas. So this is what mine looks like. So I have a bunch of stuff that you guys don't have, obviously. Like I can show you, this is what you can't see yet, but coming up soon, like theme 1, you have all this stuff. Actually, let me show you a different one. Theme 2 is better because this is when we went remote last semester. So you can see that in this process here near the end, you have exams at the bottom. I'll just kind of put exams inside of the themes and a study guide, of course, and your projects. We'll talk more about these things later. I'll probably make a video in addition to the lecture videos. I'm probably going to make a video that kind of explains the mini projects, make a video that explains, you know, the study guide, the big projects. I'll obviously make a video for each one of those as well, since they're worth so much of your grade. So that way, you know, you have some something to go back and check when you're working on those projects if you have questions. So here's theme 0 real quick. This is what I want you guys to work on this week. Again, it has the syllabus and the schedule in it. I have this cool pre-course survey, but maybe I'll open it up. I'm not sure. If you're getting like a ton of notifications this week for like your instructors in every class, this handout here will show you how to change that, your notification preferences. This just tells you what materials to have for the course and some guidelines. Let me turn groups off real quick for a second. I'm going to work on this. This is that process of kind of getting you guys together in small groups, maybe for like discussion, where you guys can kind of share ideas off each other. I honestly don't know how I want that to look right now. That's a face-to-face component that's really getting compromised. So I don't want to make it super confusing. I still want to try to make it enriching. So I'm having a tough time with that one. Here's a handout to show you how to upload your work. For each, I'll give you an example. For the practice quiz, in addition to taking this quiz right here, there's another little button here that's your quiz work submission link. When you click on this, this will give you an opportunity to upload your Scratch work. For everything that you turn into me, whether it's a practice quiz or an actual quiz, or a mini, I shouldn't say a quiz because we don't have any of those, a mini project, or your exams, all of that stuff, you're going to be needing to give me your Scratch work if you want any chance of earning, anything more than a 60% probably. So make sure that you're familiar with going through ThemeZero and using this link to submit work. Reach out to me in this first week if you're having any issues with this. Again, I just want this first week everybody to get familiar with this stuff so that you know how the course is going to run and you don't feel like you have a million questions and are unsure. Okay? Quit sharing here real quick. So yes, Tom, that practice test is under ThemeZero. Okay, you should be able to navigate through the modules and it'll have everything that you're going to need for the course. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions for me? I'm going to stop recording.